All right, fellas, it's here. The cinematic event of the summer. We are going to be discussing Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Here's your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Holy shit. All the hubbub and lead up and talking about this. It's actually here, written, directed by Christopher Nolan. Of course, an adaptation of Homer's Greek poem, The Odyssey, that was originally written in the 8th century BC. So spoilers for an almost 3,000-year-old story, if you haven't read it. This is Christopher Nolan's 13th movie, his follow-up to Oppenheimer. It is the first movie entirely shot using IMAX cameras. It's a very important part of this. On the Rotten Tomatoes, 95% tomato meter, 97% popcorn meter. Metacritic has this at an 89. Letterboxd has this at a, this is the wrong one. I believe I think it's 4.3.
Also, on the Metacritic thing, I don't know if we have mentioned this before. When it's around 89, I forget what the threshold is, but 89 means universal acclaim.
Yeah, I think it's out of 100.
It is out of 100, but there's like different levels of where you can get to.
Yeah, no, it has a Metacritic must-see badge on it with that 89. This is also Christopher Nolan's most expensive movie, budgeted at $250 million. How does it do? Well, weekend box office, it does open at number one. It opens with $124.5 million domestically, globally, sitting at $264 million. They made their fucking budget back.
It's also in Rug Boy's roster of movies, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Right?
This is Rug Boy's box office movie draft. So this is a good one for you, Rugs. This is the biggest live action debut of the year. And it's Nolan's best global opening ever, ahead of Dark Knight Rises. That opened at 249. So all good. Other box office draft updates. Number 2, Moana, Anthony. Second week, it has made a total of $178 million.
That's my pick, right? Moana?
Yes.
That movie? Fuck.
Only 82 million domestic. So here's what's funny. Odyssey and Moana both cost $250 million. Why does that Moana look like shit? How much of that money did The Rock take? Another box office draft movie, Rugs, Toy Story 5.
Right.
In week 5, you have now in your pocket $960 million.
Oh, almost a billy.
This thing is making a billy. It's only been 5 weeks. That's amazing. Number 4, we got Minions and Monsters in week 3. Another one of your picks, Rugs. Not as good. $323 million global.
God damn it.
Number 5, Evil Dead Burn. Number 6, The Invite, Anthony.
We'll talk about The Invite later.
Yes, we will. Number 7, Young Washington, hanging in there in week 3.
That's your favorite movie of the year.
I have not seen it, but it has made twice its budget. It's made $40 million on a $20 million budget. I need to see Young Washington. I don't know why. Obsession, hanging in, number 8, week 10, $430 million total.
Madon.
Does not stop. Supergirl, week 4, is at $120 million. They're saying Supergirl will finish with less money than Superman opened with.
Wow.
What a disaster.
Not
what
good.
An absolute disaster for James Gunn in the DC universe.
Yeah, that's why he might not be around in a couple of years. He might just leave. And then number 10, Disclosure Day, Spielberg, hanging in week 6. It's made about $233 million. I think, Rugs, you have that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of your movies are out now and are making money.
And they're not. The only one that's making money is Toy
Story 5.
Have you added them up yet, or do we know about update?
We will.
Why don't you do that at some point?
Should we wait till after Spider-Man?
Why? Because you have that movie, you son of a bitch.
Well, but yeah, it'll be another movie.
Imran's winning this. He's got the bag already.
In August, we will do an update.
Okay.
It'll be pretty close. So, but Odyssey does big numbers. The movie stars a fucking everybody. You got Matt Damon as Odysseus, Tom Holland as his son Telemachus, Anne Hathaway as the Queen Penelope. Travis Scott's in this movie. He opens it up as a kind of a poet. Robert Pattinson as suitor Antinous. Corey Hawkins as another suitor, Polybus. You got Elliot Page playing Sinon, not Achilles, as everybody was mad about. Who else? We got John Leguizamo as Eumaeus.
I think you said that already. We got Lupita Nyong'o playing.
Sharp.
You got Zendaya
playing Athena.
Yeah, you've got
Charlize Theron as Calypso.
You got John Bernthal.
John Bernthal as King of Sparta, Menelaus, I believe.
What about the lady playing Cersei?
Oh, and Samantha Morton.
What about Agamemnon, Benny Safdie?
Then you got Benny Safdie's Agamemnon and Mia Goth as Melantho. You have Ryan Hurst in here, who was going to be playing Kratos in the God of War show. They filmed 4 episodes. He hurt his bicep. They're recasting and reshooting, unfortunately. That whole show. Yeah, it's a big blow. And my boy Himesh Patel, who I mention every episode. I'd love to just mention Himesh Patel. Oh, Logan Marshall Green is in this too. Everybody's in this fucking movie. Just imagine everyone.
Too many people are in this.
There's a lot of people. The movie is rated R. It's very long, 2 hours, 52 minutes. Anthony, what happens in the Odyssey?
Yeah, good luck with that.
What happens in the Odyssey?
Yeah.
This is the story of Odysseus' return home after going to fight the Trojans in the Trojan War. And takes a very long time for him to get home. He runs into a lot of obstacles. And on the way during that time, his son that barely knows him is trying to find him. And his wife is trying to hold off all these suitors that want to marry her and become the king of Ithaca. And she keeps holding out hope that her king, the general, will come home after a long 20 years. But he's been fighting a lot of different things.
My dad is coming home.
Yeah, it's a tale of a guy trying to get home.
It's the original hero's journey, right? Didn't Joseph Campbell write that fucking thing about the Odyssey?
I think it's inspired a lot of superhero stuff.
It is like the original action adventure story that we have seen bits and pieces of everywhere, even in Nolan movies, if you go back. All right, Anthony, give me your theater experience. What were you expecting walking in, and how'd you feel? Once a
packed theater on a Thursday night, 6:00 showing. At this point, Nolan is just, any movie fan is going out and seeing Nolan.
IMAX?
Right away. No, I didn't go. I didn't go on my way to see an IMAX or 70 millimeter or anything. No, I just saw a regular. No,
okay.
No, didn't care.
Okay.
Didn't care.
Okay.
I'm sure it's great in 70 millimeter or IMAX.
Yeah.
See it. You should probably see it in the biggest format. I just didn't feel like going out of my way to do that.
Okay.
Also, Chicago doesn't have a lot of those.
No, but you could just go to IMAX. There's a lot of IMAX theaters, regular IMAX.
I know, but they're not real IMAX.
No, but you still get the full screen. And from the screen comparisons, it's like 40% of the fucking image is cut out.
Okay. You go work for IMAX.
Yeah. Go see an IMAX.
Yeah, go see it in IMAX. How about you go see it in 70 millimeter? That's actually what's
harder.
Supposed to be seen.
Yeah, Music Box. You can see.
Music Box says it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the theater experience, or what did I think of the movie?
Yeah. Opening thoughts.
So Oppenheimer is what everyone is the last movie that Nolan made, and it won all the Oscars. It made almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
By all accounts, it's his most successful movie ever. Right? I mean, it's a fucking biography about Robert Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So he's coming off that, and now he's making a story about one of the oldest stories ever, his first ever sword and sandals type epic. I'm hit or miss on Nolan. I really love The Dark Knight. Inception is really good. What's this call it? That first movie that you
Memento.
Memento. I love Memento, but wasn't a big fan of Tenet.
Mm-hmm.
I respect Oppenheimer, not like my jam. So there's the movies. Dark Knight Rises hasn't aged very well. So I like Nolan. I think he's great, but I don't love everything he does. I was completely enthralled by this movie. I thought this movie, the word to describe I had walking out 3D was epic. Like, I thought this was an awesome movie. Nolan has all the toys that he ever wanted to play with, all these different actors and actresses. Takes a second to like get into the vibe because everyone's talking in a normal American accent. But yeah, I mean, it just one challenge after another for Matt Damon. I felt like the time. Nolan loves to play with time. I actually felt very comfortable once I got into the rhythm of how this was being told. So I wasn't confused, and some of it's storytelling, some of it's actually happening, some of it's purposely held off. So now you get a better sense of why Odysseus feels the way he does and has the grief he does. I thought it was just it's one of my favorite movies of the year. I truly enjoyed it. I was into it the whole time. Is it a perfect movie? No. but I mean, the craft, the fact that most of it's like a lot of it's filmed on camera. I mean, some of the things the extent he went to like film some of this stuff. I mean, there's stuff where he filmed that shit in Iceland where it's supposed to be Hades.
Yeah.
And people they were buried underground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And had like scuba, like snorkels to like breathe, to like figure out when to come up.
Yep.
I mean, just the shit you're seeing on screen. I felt like a lot of it really clicked for me, and I didn't feel that way about the last couple movies I've seen from Nolan. So I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, this is the type of movie where you see this and you're like, wow, how did they do that stuff on screen? I mean, the stuff with the boats in the water and the storms, the freaking Cyclops, the giant. I mean, all this shit was just like, I was completely impressed. I loved the movie. I thought it was awesome.
All right. And now for a completely different take, Rugs.
I heard this guy is he like the only guy in the world that hates the movie. I'm sorry.
I didn't say I hated the movie.
You didn't say anything yet.
I have two ways of looking at this movie.
Yeah.
If you go into the movie and you have a very small understanding of the Odyssey or passing interest in it or no interest in it at all, and you sit down at this movie, it's going to entertain you. It's going to knock your socks off. It's going to be an epic film. But there's also another way to look at it, and is if you know the Odyssey, and like my experience with it, I went into a theater in the packed theater early in the morning on Friday. It had a round of applause at the end. So people did love it. So I know, though those people fucking don't know shit about the Odyssey.
wait. But before I'm not going to let you go on this. You think everyone that likes the Odyssey doesn't like this movie? That
what?
The data says otherwise.
No, I'm making a joke. But like, okay. I'm just saying, I'm making a joke. But like, the point is like, if you have no criticisms of it,
sure,
like then you clearly don't care, because like, I watched this movie. I thought it was a fucking marvel to look at. I thought it was marvelous. I was dazzled by it. I thought it was great, but then I also missed a huge chunk of the story. Now, I was introduced by the Odyssey to my English teacher in high school, and he was like very flamboyant, and he acted it out, and
no way,
voices and everything. And his point of view on it was different than some translations and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where I got interested in it.
Yeah,
and so I've seen various versions. I've read comic book versions. So I have a different. So it's got like a lot of interpretations. So like there is a lot of interpretations. There's a lot of different ways to look at this, but most of them that I've seen include the gods, include the fantasy aspect to a degree. The Odyssey is very horny. All right. Fucking Odysseus is fucking all kinds of people.
There's a lot of fucking.
All right. This movie's not sexy at all.
Yeah.
There's not like so like they made this movie about one certain thing. They kind of trimmed all the fat out and made it about this one thing. And it kind of loses, it's great, fantastic qualities. And it loses a lot of Greek stuff too. Just a lot of Greek stuff is like kind of like missing. So it's kind of like they took this movie and they made it into this digestible, people are talking normally, and it doesn't remove itself enough for me to think it's a masterpiece. I think it's dazzling to look at. I think it's entertaining as fuck. I think it's a fun movie to watch. I think you'll have a great time. I don't think hate is not the word. The word is, I just don't think it's there's a lot of stuff missing. That's all I can really say. There's a lot of stuff missing.
Sure.
And there's a lot of things that are misrepresented or taken from other, like things from the Aeneid are thrown in here. Things from other things are thrown in there. And I think, all right, you have the right to do that. But I wonder why Nolan chose to do this, because, all right, like when people did stuff a long time ago, everybody was ignorant, right? Like they just were like, whatever. But now that we have all this knowledge and you can literally look up stuff, and not only that, but the audience can look shit up. Like they can just Google it and figure out, oh, this looks wrong. This is wrong. Oh, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to like play with that? Like at least if you're going to do something like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where you're doing the Odyssey, but you're like not calling it the Odyssey and you're taking it into a different time period or something, or like Warriors, which is the Odyssey.
Well,
like,
I guess Warriors is the Odyssey also.
It's a very quick one-day Odyssey, but like it's an Odyssey for them to get home.
Yeah.
But like, why would you want to do that? Why? I guess why would you want to do all this stuff to kind of be subversive and like disappoint people who have been waiting to see this, disappoint people who know the story? So it's like it's like with anything, with comic books. Whenever there's a source material, there's always going to be an element of disappointment. We talked about this when we watched Dune. We talked about this when we watched anything that I've already known about beforehand. And we know that Dune is missing a ton of shit. And so like it always makes me disappointed. I still love Dune, but do I think it's the apex of Dune? No. Do I think this is the apex of the Odyssey? Maybe cinematically, yes, but I don't think story-wise, narratively, it captures all of the scope of what the Odyssey, and it's just not sexy as the story is when you read it. It's like the story is essentially about a lot of different things, but it's about hubris. It's about him thinking, like Odysseus thinks that he is like kind of smarter than the gods and he can outwit them, and the gods are like offended by this, and they're like, oh shit, we got to humble him. And all that stuff. And he's being constantly tempted by hot chicks. He doesn't go home to his wife. Mm-hmm. And he's just banging all these different goddesses. Goddesses want to fuck him.
Yeah.
Athena is the one who's coming to his defense when all the other goddesses all the other gods want him killed. Because they're kind of like almost envious of.
Well, the hilarious irony is that after Cersei turns them into pigs and then turns them back, he fucking falls in love with her and stays there for like another year.
But see,
they bang.
I think this is an interesting conversation because you guys are both bringing up things that are missing.
Yeah.
But at that point, how long is the movie?
Right. And like as you're talking, Ruggs, I'm like, I don't think you can take the scope of this whole thing and put it in one movie. You have to make choices.
You can't. Maybe
you got to pick and choose.
Maybe you got to do it in pieces. Maybe you got to do a trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do it in 3 movies. At least.
Yeah, I think you could. That would probably be the better way to do it. But
you do Iliad, you do the Odyssey, you do one more, something in between, something.
Yeah, I think you break this into 2 movies, and then you have the Iliad before, and you kind of combine them all together, and that way you can get the kind of the big scope of basically Odysseus leaving home, being in the war, the toll that it's taking, and maybe it reads better, but there is a lot of missing stuff, right? We all know there's a lot of things missing, So is it perfect? No. Do I hate it? No. I have criticisms, but I always have criticisms. But I did enjoy it. I did think it was a good time.
Okay.
Is it the Odyssey that I would have made? No. But
okay.
Would the cast be the same as I would have cast it? Probably. everybody would be Frank Grillo. But
well, we already jumped to that part.
Yeah,
Frank, put everyone.
I'm just kidding. But like, it's I don't know. There's parts of it where I think some of it is like we could talk about parts that I really like. Or you can tell me what you think, and then we can get to that stuff because I don't want to step all over what you might want to say.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the same criticism I had of Michael. Is that they left a lot of shit out and it wasn't sexy enough. Just kidding. Just kidding. I had to make the joke.
That's good, Imran. Very well done.
Very good.
You left
very well done. Sometimes they don't land.
Anyways, my theater experience Thursday night, packed audience. Also,
IMAX.
IMAX. Healthy round of applause at the end of the movie, and I
forgot to mention there was a round of applause.
Yeah, you too, huh? Yeah, it's crazy. I had a fucking great time. I think my jaw was open for a lot of this movie because I was just like, oh my God, look at this. The scope and scale in the giant IMAX screen is fucking beautiful. It was immersive to me the way the dunes are immersive. Like I felt like I was there, but just holy shit, the scale, the ambition, the set pieces. I loved all of it. And it turns out the casting and the dialect and the accent at the end of the day didn't really bother me. Look, this isn't Homer's Odyssey. This is Nolan's Odyssey. He has every right to take whatever adaptations, whatever choices he wants to make. And that's what I was there for, to see the choices you are making.
That's a very modern way of saying things now.
Well, but I want to see why you're making these decisions. And some of the things I like, he's just putting his stamp on it and he's doing things a certain way that haven't been done in this story that we've not seen. The accent, the American accent dialogue, I thought it kind of made it like more accessible. Like this is probably his most accessible movie out of all, because his movies can be very confusing.
Can I jump in just real quick and then I'll let you guys. So one of the defenses I've heard, because I do agree with Ruggs' point, because he went on this rant about what was it, Gods and Kings, and how everyone got up in arms. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like we did all get up in arms about previous movies being whitewashed. So like I thought about that, and one of the things that I saw another podcast say real quick was this story, the Odyssey, a lot of it's been told and retold through just like people sitting at like orally.
Yep.
It's a story that started out very oral and then probably got written down. But the version that got written down at some point was like the best version that everyone like reacted to when they were telling it orally. So all that to say is like this story's evolved and changed over time because it was just told, playing a game of telephone.
Even before it was written down, it was changing. But,
So like people were reacting to certain things as stories. So then the next person would be like, okay, I'm telling the story, but I'm telling this part of the story because this is going to get the most reaction.
Yeah.
So all that to say is like, we don't even really know what the text of the story was because a lot of it was told orally. So not to say that I'm defending it. I'm just saying this story's changed a lot over time.
No, but I also think because of how old it is absolutely appropriate to adapt it.
Well, can I counter argument that?
Yeah, go for it.
Just real quick. Okay, so that's all good in theory, right? But the version of the story that everybody has read has been the translation of Homer. So everybody's read like The Dark Knight Returns. That's Frank Miller's version of Batman.
Yeah.
So when you watch a movie that's called The Dark Knight and it has nothing to do with Batman, which Nolan did, by the way, he kind of does that. He names things and then doesn't do anything that has to do with the fucking story. So, it kind of makes you have expectations that it's going to be the thing.
Yeah,
right?
but you don't think Nolan did his research and read all the translations? There's multiple translations. The one he got inspired by is a more recent one by Emily Wilson, I think is her name.
It's also the shortest.
And it's the shortest. And the first line is like, tell me about a complicated man. And he saw that and he got inspired for his version. But this is clearly a movie he's been thinking about like his whole life. You could tell this is a passion project.
Right.
In fact, there's 3 of his movies where the dude is trying to get back to Anne Hathaway. You realize that? He does that a lot. So a lot of the shit in his earlier movies are like parts of the Odyssey. But the story itself is still fucking amazing. Like,
let me just say this. Like, did you watch The Return, right?
Yes, I did.
So The Return is a version of the Odyssey where it's just him coming home.
Right, the end part.
And that's a good movie. That's a good movie too.
It's pretty good.
But like the whole point is like that story of him coming home, seeing all these dudes trying to take over his kingdom and him fucking wiping them out. That's fucking right there is a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, but that's in this too. Listen,
exactly.
The moment where at the end where as the beggar, he strings the bow and then he goes, pang, and she turns and looks, and I was like, oh, fuck him up, Odysseus. You fuck these guys up. And then Cory Booker's character is like, that's Odysseus. And before he could finish the word, funk, arrow in the throat, and then him taking everybody out was fucking badass.
It was final act of this really movie, cool.
To see the different ways people do the axe test is also kind of interesting. But I thought for the runtime, I thought this was paced really well. I did not feel the runtime. I was fucking locked in the whole time. It moved very well. And I just love how he loves to play with time. And in this movie, you really get a sense of like present, past, and future. They all kind of just float around, right? And he just like jumps around. It takes you, sometimes he'll show you just a quick frame from a different time and come back. And then you'll move. And they're all kind of floaty, but it works really good. Unlike Tenet, where I'm like, how the fuck does a building implode and explode at the same time? Makes my head hurt. This I feel like is because he's got a solid source material to work with here.
It's not as science-y, right?
Yes.
So he's not. I feel like Tenet and some of his other movies too. He almost acts like he's the smartest guy in the room when he's playing with time. Whereas this one, he is playing with time, but I think a lot of the stuff is withheld. It's done cleverly, right? So some of it's storytelling.
Yeah.
Some of it. Part of it's
flashbacks.
Telemachus visiting John Bernthal's character and John Bernthal's character telling a story, right?
Yeah.
About Odysseus. Some of it's him trying to recall his memories with Calypso. So I think it's a lot of like fun stuff. My favorite part of the time reveal is when they reveal the Trojan War.
Yeah.
Of what that was like.
What actually happened.
Not the when they open the gates and Agamemnon standing there aura farming.
Yeah.
But when they actually reveal like what it was like and like how they were burning down everything. Because that to me adds such a great layer to his character, Odysseus, where it's like, oh my God, he like Zeus's law. He completely went against Zeus's law. And that's why he has this guilt of like, oh, he was part of the horrors of war. Like he thought he was a good man and he's part of something that was like horrific. And he's been carrying this guilt with him for the longest time. And that's why he's like so loyal to his men. And then his men keep dying.
Maybe he doesn't. That's why maybe he doesn't want to go home.
I think there's part of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a part of that in the story that he's like, he feels, I mean, there's a lot of shame that he has, right?
And then the reveal that the Athena he has been seeing was a woman he saw get murdered. And then she haunts him kind of throughout the movie.
You know, I thought that was a good point that Ruggs brought up, though, that was the only god they portray.
Well, but
that was
isn't Circe a god?
She's a goddess.
Ruggs?
She's a goddess. Calypso is a nymph.
Which is basically a goddess.
They mention Zeus all the time. Living. Yeah, it's a lot about hospitality.
But then, like Zeus and Poseidon are like
they're just
almost like they're like the way they're portrayed is how we think about God now.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Where it's like people believe in it.
Yes.
And they take things that happen and say this is a symptom of God.
Yeah.
But it's not actually like we don't physically see the being. So I thought that was an interesting way to portray it.
So this brings up a good point about Nolan and fantasy, because clearly all his movies, you could tell he wants to make things grounded, right? He's always trying to he made Batman fucking as realistic as you could fucking make it. So I thought this was it was a grounded fantasy.
It's a mix,
right? Because even the monstrous parts seem grounded because of the scale and the way he.
But then you have that like Scyther or whatever the fuck it is.
Scylla.
Grabbing things.
The six-headed next to the
whirlpool in the middle of the water.
Yes.
So there's like strange things that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's fucking Cyclops. There's giants. There's the fucking witchcraft. There's magic, right? But
you should probably spend time on the Cyclops.
So
that's the first like weird thing that happens where you're like, oh, these guys are they're in for it.
Okay. Polyphemus Cyclops. What do we think? This was actually a giant puppet mixed with Bill Irwin in a costume mixed with CGI. They shot the puppet in the cave. And it was built by the same guy that built TARS for Interstellar. This scene is great. And just in the story, it's like Odysseus doesn't need to poke the dude's eye out. There was a B&E. They broke in. They just trying to get out. It was kind of unnecessary. So his hubris or whatever fucks him for the rest of the journey because you didn't need to poke his eye out.
Well, he needs in the actual text.
Yes, he says his name.
Yeah, he's fucking with this guy.
Yeah.
Before he puts his eye, after he puts his eye out and everything, and he tells him like who he is. He gets away with it, but he's like, "No, I did this to you."
Yeah, he didn't have to say that either.
Yeah, so he wants you to know that who fucking fucked up Polyphemus.
Yeah. I didn't read it when they take his eye out the first time. I don't think that's the part that really has Poseidon curse him.
No, it's the
part
arrow.
where at the end where he like they out of the cave and he's like he fires off one more arrow.
I was like, bro, was that necessary? You didn't have to shoot that arrow.
What does he say? He did it because he killed some of his men, right?
That's what I think. Didn't his guys were also like, "Oh, Odysseus, what are you doing?" Like that,
right? They were all like, "What the fuck, man?" But I thought there was a line where he's like, "It's because they fucked with my guys."
Yeah, he was like, somebody says, "Oh, that's unnecessary," but
yeah. I love the design. How like it's just like a nose and one eye turned sideways. Without the other eye.
Well, I like the design. I think it's great. Like he's like a deformity, you know?
Yeah. And then he chases him back. That was a great scene. Them trying to fucking disguise themselves as sheep. Very good.
But when he's screaming for Poseidon, when he gets stabbed in the eye,
that was crazy.
I couldn't even make out what he was saying.
I couldn't either. It was so booming. Poseidon.
I didn't hear him say Poseidon. I didn't catch that till after the fact.
It was just loud and deep and booming. It's a very loud movie. Did anybody have audio issues? I feel like
yes.
But I feel like
Imran, slow down, my guy. You are going 100 miles an hour.
I feel like this is not as bad as some of the other Nolan audio mixes. Like
it was definitely happening throughout the film, but luckily it's not for the entirety of the film. It's only happened in a few spots.
Yeah.
But there were like, even when they were in Ithaca in the hall, like there was muffled speech when they were fucking Telemachus is talking. I don't understand what the fuck he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. He's like, because he's whispering. I don't know.
I didn't think it was as bad. I actually thought that for the most part, the sound mixing, especially like the natural sound mixing, so the waves and the wherever they were, I think it added to, oh wow, they're really on location here.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. So I didn't have as much of a problem. Like Tenet was the worst. Maybe Oppenheimer too, but Tenet, I couldn't hear anything that those people were saying.
Yeah, like why can't he get this shit together?
I don't know why he's.
Why do we have to always mention it in every fucking movie?
I think it's clearly a choice.
It is, but why? I could understand 90% of it, 85, 90%, I think, but not 100%. There were times like,
well, Nolan's never been. I'll say this: there's a lot of good lines in Nolan films.
Yeah,
but Nolan's movies, I would never be like, yo, the dialogue was amazing. And
that's a good point.
He doesn't write.
Yeah,
I think he's very good crafts, very good, sometimes very amazing stories, a lot of talented people. But I don't know, like the dialogue is as important for him in the movies.
And this is why I thought in this one, because sometimes he even uses the actors as props, like in Tenet. The dude didn't have a name. You didn't know anything about him. At least this one, you have characters with names and you kind of get a sense of who they are.
Well, you're telling the Odyssey.
Right. So you're telling the Odyssey. And that was the other point I wanted to make is I watched a couple of videos beforehand to like give me the basic plot points of the thing. Anthony, did you read or know anything about the Odyssey before going into this?
No, not. I mean, I know bits and pieces of the Odyssey, but I don't think I even learned it in school. To be honest,
I didn't read it in school. They didn't make us. Yeah. So was it confusing, or were you able to follow it?
I was able to follow it. Okay. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's a story about a guy trying to get home, and he gets thrown 75 million obstacles.
Yes. The next obstacle after the Cyclops, giant Laestrygonians. These are cannibals in night outfits. Pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but Tom Holland said, he goes, I was there when you shot this, and I don't know how you did this. Apparently, it's all like smaller stunt people, forced perspectives, all in camera, fucking wild. No CGI.
I was really thrown off when that dude sits up and it's a kid. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Why is that kid so big?
Oh, it's a giant kid. That was a fun scene, and after that, they get caught up at Cersei's, getting turned into pigs. More practical effects here. Makeup, prosthetics, puppetry, rigging. This was a very disturbing scene. A lot of people thought Samantha Morton was the best performance out of the whole movie. What'd you guys think of this Cersei thing?
I don't know about performance. I think that scene where she is molding them into pigs is fucking amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
like I never seen shit like that ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's practical. Is that CG? I don't know how they did it, but it was really, really good.
It was like body horror type shit.
Yeah.
Especially, and it's like gross because they're like chowing down on this like weird noodles.
Oh my God. It would look like an intestine. I was like, that's so disgusting.
It's clearly like, I don't know what the
like
fuck
goat stomach or something.
Or human stomach.
Or human. And the way they're eating it was so fucking disgusting. But yeah, I think that's a lot of practical puppeteering and just fucking prosthetics. It was fucking nuts. And then he gets her to turn them back. And then they do the underworld scene, which, like you said, Anthony, yes, they all were buried underground. But important moments where you get Sinon back, Agamemnon, where he can, Odysseus can find out things that happen.
The big thing is that the part of the guilt that he has is Sinon didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? Is Sinon a person in the story?
No.
That's a made up character?
No, he's in the Aeneid. So,
that's Virgil's Aeneid. Yeah, he's combining things.
Yeah, he's combining. But basically, in the story, he talks to Achilles and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
In the underworld, but they put sign. That's why people were getting confused and calling him Achilles because that's who he usually talks to when he goes to the underworld. He also talks to his mom. He talks to other people. So, so this character is completely made up. There's none of this character was never in it, and I think he wrote the part so he can get Elliot in there.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's why a lot of people were pissed about that too. They felt like, it was unnecessary to put it.
The makeup shit looked great in this scene, and Agamemnon revealing what happens after he got home from Troy, just instantly murdered by his
I'll say this. I know that there was a lot of controversy. A lot of it was around Agamemnon's helmet, right?
It looks dope.
The guy looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's Benny Safdie. Every time that character is on screen, I'm like, that character looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we ever see his face, and he just looked awesome. Like, that was a great suit.
It's better that we don't see his face.
Yeah, I don't think we need to see his face.
No, but Agamemnon is a huge character.
Yeah.
And, maybe
it's a trilogy, Ruggs, because you're saying all these characters are so big.
You'd have to do
he's the
movies.
he's the guy that wanted to go to war with Troy. He was the one.
Yeah.
Because they take his wife or whatever. He uses it as a reason.
They take Menelaus' wife. Yeah. Ellen.
Yeah. And
Paris takes her. Doesn't kidnap her. She's in love with him. She leaves with him.
But they kind of like, they changed the whole thing about his wife killing him too, because the reason why his wife kills him is because she's fucking around with his cousin.
Right.
And they're like, oh, when he comes back, just kill him.
Why does she kill him in this?
No, I think that's what happened. They said something like she conspired with her lovers and killed Agamemnon. I thought that's what happened.
And it was more like, it felt like she was like angry at him or something like that, or something like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Agamemnon's cool.
Yeah. Agamemnon is fucking cool. In this
He's a huge bastard. Well, he's just a dick. He wants to take over Troy for his own glory.
No, it's not right. That's not why That's not why she killed him. It's because Agamemnon sacrificed his daughter.
Oh,
their daughter.
Right. That's
and
right.
And then she held that against him.
That's right.
But they do try to. Yeah. They don't make him as big a dick, but they try to in that scene say that Agamemnon's like a ruthless motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a ruthless motherfucker.
That's why. Now it's coming back to me. That's why Odysseus is like, I have to go. Yeah, keep this guy. I'll throw away his daughter. I gotta get the fuck. I gotta go help. I gotta help this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired of following Agamemnon. We're gonna go this way.
No, he's not tired. He has to.
Yeah,
he has to go to war.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fuck around with that guy.
He doesn't want to fuck around with that guy. It's not that he wants to
at you.
Yeah, it's not that he's rebelling against Agamemnon. Yeah. He's like, this guy's got me by the balls.
That's Agamemnon. Fun word to say too. Agamemnon.
Great names.
Yeah. Then you get the sirens real quick. You don't even
get to see them. You don't see the titties. They talk. They're supposed to talk to him. He's supposed to learn from them and shit. And
so they tie him to the post. That's from the book. And one dude jumps, can't take it anymore. The rest of them put wax in their ears. I did love the anguish, the Matt Damon's acting while he's listening to it, and then afterwards when he asks him what did it sound like was pretty. That was some good shit.
Yeah,
I did like that they had him. So I don't understand why he got tied up. Why
because he's a thrill seeker. He's like, I'm going to hear this. Like the thing is, men hear this and die. He's like, fuck you. I'm going to hear this and survive.
They didn't build that part up about him that he's this adventurous, curious, fucking like shrewd dude that wants to see what the fuck's going on. They made him seem like just this regular general that cares about his dude, like the guys that he
wanted to be the guy.
Imran. I don't think it's actually that he's a thrill seeker in this movie.
Not in this. Well, yeah,
at all. I think it's because he has this guilt that you get revealed to at the end,
so
where he's like,
himself?
I have to torture myself.
Okay. Well, okay. So
it's a different spin on it. I mean, clearly, because Ruggs is saying that he's not this guy in the movie.
Yes,
and it's clear, like from what I'm seeing on this movie, that they're really leaning into the fact that he's just got this guilt.
No, this Odysseus is a traumatized war vet with PTSD and guilt from Troy. Yes.
Well,
but the original, like Ruggs said, the original Odysseus has a little more. He's proud. He's fucking he's kind of a dick.
He cares
sometimes
about the guys that he's with more than the Trojans.
Yeah,
like in the movie or in the text.
He gets more upset when his crew members die than like having guilt over Troy. What happened in Troy?
Are you talking about in the text or in the film?
In the text.
No.
Yeah. But also, like the movie, he's the only one who makes it home. So
and I think in the actual story, like it's not just 3 boats; it's like a bunch more. Like I think it's like 12 boats or something like that.
Yeah, these boats are.
Yeah, he was the commander of like an army.
Yeah. So like the Laestrygonians destroy one boat, and then they pass between after the sirens. They go between the whirlpool and Scylla, the 6-headed thing. And there's the whole thing where he's like, if I go into the thing, we all die. If I go this way, only 6 of us die, and we keep going. So they got to go past Scylla. But even that, he had people yanked from a crane off the boat to get that fucking pull.
Did you like the way Scylla looked? I felt like it was a little underwhelming.
It was a little like generic and like it was just like these 6.
I felt like that was going to be a
tentacles.
really big scene.
Yeah, it was
I
quick.
was like, oh, Scylla and Charybdis? This is going to be fucking crazy. And it was just like over in 2 seconds.
Well, there's so many things that happen because then you got to do the thing where they go to the island with the Helios and the cows, and they're not supposed to kill the cows. And of course, they're hungry and they kill the cow.
Yeah.
And that's
Jesus
not
Christ,
good.
Imran, you are on speed right now. I will say when I was watching the movie, because obviously I'm not as familiar with the Odyssey, I was like, how many things are they going to get thrown at them?
Yeah.
I was almost like, it's a wonder that this is all in a 3-hour movie because this feels like it'd be spread out.
It's unfilmable in a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Nolan did what he could.
Yeah.
Right. But
Okay, and then this is a slight change to the text. He has Odysseus kind of drugged. Calypso has drugged him with the lotus flower for 7 years. She essentially is keeping him a sex prisoner. He's forgotten everything.
no, but he was willing to fuck her that whole time.
Yeah.
Well, what's it in the
In the
comics?
text, there's another part where they go to this place where there's all these lotus flowers and the men start eating them and forget. And he's got to get them away from there.
Yeah. That's a different adventure that we didn't see.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then he
and
wants
this one, I think Hermes comes and
Oh,
tells
Hermes. Yes.
and tells Calypso, yo, we got to get Odysseus fucking going. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. She didn't want to let him go. And I
Yeah.
think he wanted to stay there because,
And she tries to like convince him. She's like, you'll be a god too. Like I can make you
yeah.
immortal. And he was like, nah, I got to get the fuck out of here. So
Well, no, in the film though, she realizes that he would even if she keeps manipulating him, it's never going to be true love. He keeps even in those like highest form of manipulation, he was still like calling for her in his dreams,
Right.
calling for his wife.
Right.
yeah. Well, I think that works for this
Yeah.
film too, but
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what's missing.
Right.
I want to mention the Trojan horse itself because this is another fun little change she does. Normally, when you see this Trojan horse in all the media, it's like four on the floor, just horse standing up, sometimes on wheels. This motherfucker is like, no, my horse is going to be on 2 legs and I'm going to bury it in the fucking sand. And just the whole idea that these men were in there for 4 days, dudes drowned. Can you imagine what it fucking smelled like in there?
Shitting all over.
Wait. You're
Yes.
saying real dudes drowned?
No, in the story,
Yes.
dudes drowned because of the way.
No, but in reality, he did have people in
Yes, when they filmed it, Bernthal was like in cold, wet water for a
Right.
long time. He started shaking. He built this 35-foot, 8,000-pound horse, and that shot where they're dragging it, that's actually a bunch of extras dragging this fucking 8,000-pound horse.
there. Yeah,
Like
no, it's true.
that's crazy.
I love that.
It was crazy.
I
It's
love
not
that he did
CGI.
that.
Well, not only the extras. I mean, when you're talking about extras, when they open the gates of Troy from the
Yeah.
inside,
Yeah.
that's legitimately 2,000 people running it.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not CGI at all. Nolan's
Yeah.
all in on the.
It's
trying to
amazing.
get it
And
out.
they
So-
said like the actors, the cameraman, and Nolan crawled into this fucking Trojan horse. There's another interesting thing. Matt Damon talked about this a lot in interviews. If he was out on the boat in the middle of the ocean, cold, wet, getting hit by rain, Christopher Nolan, 5 feet away from him, next to the camera, always. He's there in the mix. And let's not forget this IMAX camera, giant, loud. You can't record dialogue. They
3
built
minutes
up.
at a time.
Yeah, only 3 minutes at a time. They built a sound dampening blimp, and Bernthal was like, this camera was like a SUV that we were shooting with. It was that big. Had to set up a mirror system so that actors could see each other in like a 2-shot because this fucking thing was huge. This is insane, Christopher Nolan.
Apparently, he found a Viking ship too, and
Yes.
people had to learn how to row.
Yes,
the
he
boat.
found that's a real old boat, and he took the fucking IMAX cameras to 6 countries on the boat in the middle of the ocean. You're a fucking insane motherfucker.
What did you guys think about the? I know Imran already described the scene where he strings the bow, but what did you think about where he finally gets home and all that part of the movie?
Who, me?
Both of you. Well, look, Imran's been talking a lot. Ruggs, what did you think about the third part of that third act where he
I
finally
thought it
comes
was
home?
good. I thought it was good, but it was like a Nolan thing. So it's like Nolan's not really known for his action
Right.
hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
So it was fine. It wasn't bad. I thought it did what it needed to do. But as I said, I was expecting more. But it worked. I still was like, oh, fucking get those guys.
I wanted him to
And
fuck
I
those
like-
suitors up.
The
Fuck 'em
thing
up.
with Telemachus and the weapons and on the
Oh yeah,
dropping
hiding
shit
the weapons
down and all that fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with you, Ruggs. I thought it was epic with when he strings the bow.
Bang.
And the whole time you're waiting for him to reveal himself.
Yeah.
I do think Nolan to this day still has problems filming action. Like,
yes.
There's just, if you have an action choreographer, it wouldn't look the way it does, where it's like, why is each guy just taking turns to go after this guy? Like, there's a better way to choreograph it so that's not like, you have 1 million people in that room. Why wouldn't they just take them out?
I mean, it doesn't help that the room's small and you can't pull the camera back
because you need that wide establishing shot of them.
So he made that choice to make a small room. I mean, or the room is actually not that small, but like it feels small
It's
for
very
some
small.
reason.
Yeah.
Everything feels claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I remember there was a shot where like everybody's there. There's like a bunch of long tables. So you do have depth of field and you could probably get stuff, but like he makes these choices to kind of like just be right on top of stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I will agree. That's the one other minor nitpick is that the fight scene's a little too close cut that Nolan does, right? Some of them. It was
better than Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was better, but I noticed some of that close cutting, close editing Nolan fighting. I was like, oh, you're still doing that a little bit.
I loved when he reveals him, or when he like him and John Leguizamo's character, like are talking, and then like he's coming up to the palace, and then he sees his dog.
The dog. Oh, I love
the dog's just been sitting on manure for fucking 20 years.
Put him on the dung heap.
And the dog just immediately like dies happy because he gets to see his owner. Like that's where Tom Holland Telemachus noticed like, you're my dad. Like,
so this is the only issue I have with this story is how the fuck I know it's been 20 years. You got a beard. How do nobody recognize him? He's talking to Penelope. She didn't recognize his voice. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
But for the story to work,
the lady seeing the
star. Yes, I love that bit too.
In the story, Athena disguises him as an old man.
Oh, see, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So like in the actual thing, Athena's really there.
Yeah,
and she's really helping him. She comes to him.
She's on his side.
She basically gives him cheat codes every once in a while because I think Athena actually, this is not said, but I think she has the hots for him too.
You know, the way I interpreted it too is it feels like the way this was shown or portrayed is Zeus and Poseidon exist, but they're God, right? They're not like physical gods. They're just
big G God.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like because there was a part where they go, oh, if you go west, it's weird shit goes out there. I feel like when they first see the Cyclops, like these characters in this movie have never seen anything like that before. Like they're all the shit they run into is the first time they've ever I don't think up until this point, I don't think any of these characters were seeing like magical shit or anything like that. They were living as if gods were the big G and there were nothing else that was magical happening.
I feel like they might have heard stories.
Well, the pretext says the time of magic, but I think it was more like you hear stories of this,
they've never
but it's like,
seen it. Yeah.
Like, it's like when we get told, oh, there's a miracle that happened. It's like, oh, did it happen? I don't believe it because I didn't see it. Like that's kind of the vibe that I think Nolan was going for, is like when they run into all these things, it's the first time ever that anyone's ever seen shit.
That's
like
how
this.
they're acting. So that makes sense.
So which is a choice, right? Because I'm sure in the text, this stuff just happens all the time.
Right. This is like normal in old Greek world. But the bits of the story I love is like after all this shit, he can't even just go home. He's like, bro, you can't just roll in there. You got to scope it out. You got to sneak in there. So the dog bit and the bit with the lady washing his legs and she sees the scar and he's like, shh. I was like, that shit is so good. And the way they shot Anne Hathaway behind the lattice, it was very cool, giving the separation. Anthony, let me ask you this. Did you get, because Anne Hathaway took classes for weeks to learn how to use that ancient loom. Did you get that she was the loom she uses?
That's when she's knitting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get that she was stalling?
I didn't get that in the movie, no.
Okay. Because what she was doing is every night she would undo what she does.
Right.
And eventually someone catches onto her. But Antinous says it. Somebody says, "Oh, you're unraveling it" or something, but they didn't really lean into like that she's stalling.
Well, they throw her in like a dungeon or something.
Yeah,
they lock her up after they find out that she's doing that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I keep saying the comics in the original.
The original text.
It's the original comics. Yes.
Yeah.
We have to.
What do you got, Rimrun?
I'm going to say we have to mention the score real quick because this is Ludwig Göransson did Black Panther. And fuck, the music was amazing. Do you know there's no orchestra score? He literally used ancient Greek instruments to make this. And I thought the drumming, the parts were, it was so good. It was so good.
I thought it was good. I didn't think actually the score was like it wasn't a score that I would go and be like, oh, this is a standout score that, like it wasn't a score that I would go, this is a memorable score. I think it's a score that enhances the movie, but it's not a score like that he's done in the past where it's like, oh my God, this score is almost taking over the movie.
I think it pushes the movie though. Like it helps with the momentum when it's happening.
I want to talk about, because there's just so many actors and actresses in this movie.
Yes.
You know, what you guys thought were standout performances, what you thought were disappointing or anything. I'll start by saying I really like John Leguizamo in this movie.
He was great. Yeah.
I thought he was really good. And then as far as a disappointing performance, I know you, Imran, you talked about it. I completely disagree. I thought Tom Holland was not good in this movie.
You know, I also agree that
I've changed my mind.
Oh, shut up, Imran. Stop.
No, because the more I thought about it, he took me out, because the minute he's
doing
up,
his Peter Parker thing, and it's so odd.
The minute he shows up, I'm like, this motherfucker's going to be Peter Parker in 2 weeks.
When you make the choice to have all the actors just talk like themselves, you're not giving them the opportunity to distance themselves.
They're not all talking like themselves. Some are doing American accents.
What?
They're not all talking like themselves.
I'm just talking about Tom Holland.
I know he's doing an American accent. That's not what he sounds like.
Yeah, but he's doing like the typical
Peter Parker.
He's doing typical what you've seen him do a million times.
Yeah. But the problem with Tom Holland is in this movie is when he's alongside other people, he's not like everyone else. Like he does not meet the bar that everyone else is at.
Well, when that scene where the tears are coming in his eyes when he after the dog dies and he realizes, I thought he pulled that off. I was like, all right, it's pretty good, Tom Holland.
I don't know.
He was definitely he was one of the weaker links in here.
I thought he was really flat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, do you have anytime Tom Holland, Ruggs probably agrees with this. Anytime Tom Holland was on screen, they're like, did you feel any emotion towards that guy?
Not really.
Did you feel any sort of like, what's his motivation? He has this, like, there's a couple scenes where Anne Hathaway, like, she's kind of in the beginning, like, doesn't really do much. But when she brings it, she fucking brings it.
She's like, I want Odysseus.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, she was great in the movie. And I also think fucking Pattinson was good.
You thought he was good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think they gave him enough to do.
They should have given him more.
Yes.
Because that character is a huge dick in the actual.
But the funniest part of the movie is the fight, and he's in the back of the room going, use the sword, use the spear, use the shield. And then he runs back behind everyone. You fucking punk. It was great. It was perfect.
I also think another weak link is John Bernthal.
Oh, you didn't like Bernthal as Menelaus, King of Sparta?
Yeah. Did he come across as a Spartan to you?
I mean,
did you feel Spartan at all?
He's the Punisher.
Yeah. I didn't get this. I didn't realize him and Agamemnon were brothers.
Yes, Menelaus and Safety. And why did they scar Helen's face?
Because they wanted to change the narrative. You know that he's the Menelaus is a fucking, he is a dick, but like they just added that. Yeah. He's Carter.
And there's a twin sister.
A couple of them, the performances weren't bad, but it was almost like Nolan's just like, here's my dick. I'm so awesome that anyone can be in my movie and they'll do anything. Like I felt like Zendaya and Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o had a little more to do, but Zendaya especially.
Yeah.
Was like, that could have been anybody. Like,
yeah,
she just was doing the role.
Do you think she had to be in the movie? I don't think that she really added that much.
I felt like it felt like he's like, I can have any actress, or I can have the biggest actress in the world be in my movie and have a small part. That's what
a lot of these are his buddies now, right? Like Pattinson and Hathaway's in a bunch of his movies. What about Damon? Did he pull it off?
I feel like Damon was fine.
He's fine.
I thought he was pretty good. He looked.
I didn't think anything was really like the biggest standout with that was Anne Hathaway and I would say John Leguizamo. These are both like John Leguizamo transformed himself into this guy, and I think he actually knows. I think Leguizamo studied the classics, so I feel like it's something close to his heart.
But what's funny is he's just using his like Bronx Puerto Rican accent, just like how he sounds, but it worked.
But you feel a ton of sympathy for that character.
Yeah.
No, but it's just how you deliver the line. It's not what your accent is a lot of the time. But
right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I felt like there was like like I felt like there was a lot of actors and actresses in the movie that just were like, okay, you got this guy in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this person.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this person.
Well, I mean, are you going to turn him down when Nolan's like, can you play Helen? You're not saying fucking no. Like, he can get anybody he wants. And
that's what it felt like. It literally felt like I can do anything.
Like Travis Scott what was his point? Like, he was the poet. But
well, he was saying that there are some things that like he feels rap and hip hop are the modern like poetry.
When
so
they
are
are.
like a legacy, like a thing. And also, Travis Scott has one of the end song. Has the end song.
That was
The
Travis
credit
Scott.
scene.
Yeah.
Travis Scott.
No, he was good.
It didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
No, Samantha Morton as Cersei though. That's also a standout for me. I
mean, that's a crazy scene too.
It's a fucking crazy scene.
That felt like out of a horror movie.
Yeah, it's so good though.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot. I thought there was a lot of. I thought I would agree with Ruggs. I thought Anne Hathaway was probably the standout.
Okay,
Matt Damon's. I think Matt Damon was good. I think he's going to get nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah.
But if I were like, yo, this was like, what are the top 5 performances? I don't know if Matt Damon would be up there. I think he's really good.
He got robbed of a scene that he could have done.
Which one's that?
There's a scene where he goes to he's almost home.
Yeah.
And he goes to the neighboring island, and they recognize him. They don't recognize him at first. But they decide to give him the hospitality because it's Zeus's law, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, it's almost like what happens with Menelaus. He's like, I've told you a story, now you tell me a story or whatever.
Oh, right.
And then he starts to cry because they were telling the story of the Iliad, and he was just remembering all the people that he knew that got killed. And that's when like he starts to feel. That's like when you first see him like really emote about like this all comes crashing down on him.
Is this after Calypso? Because isn't there a whole? He goes to a whole other island.
Yeah, it goes after Calypso.
They cut out a whole thing.
He doesn't go directly to.
Yes.
He goes one more place.
The Phaeacians, isn't it? Is that who it is? Who he ends up with?
Yeah,
something. Yeah, there's another scene. Like, how many things can you put in? You only got so much fucking time.
We didn't even mention Charlize Theron's in the movie.
And yes, Charlize Theron as Calypso she looks great.
That was kind of a role like. That's another one where I'm like, it could have been anybody.
It could have been anyone. But he's got, like, Charlize, come on, pop in. You want to be in this? Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
It's still it's like a very Nolan movie, right? Overall, I think, in terms of.
Nolan's not like, I think Nolan's sexiest movie is probably Oppenheimer because he's got naked chicks in there.
Florence Pugh naked in that one, I remember.
But like, I feel like this is very milk toast as far as that.
But Oppenheimer, that's all I remember is Florence Pugh naked, giant explosion, and giant talking heads is all kind of that's all I remember. I would watch this over. This is way more entertaining. I've not watched Oppenheimer a second time.
I mean, but the thing with Nolan is both of those movies and a lot of his movies deal with like men that have a lot of guilt over what they've done in the past.
Yep.
Right. That's like one of his themes.
Yeah.
It's like the guilt of people. I mean, even, Bruce wasn't able to save his parents, like those types, like all that's a running theme that he has. He plays a lot with time, obviously, has these big, like, movies that are going to get nominated for a shit ton of texts because there's just like overwhelmingly impressive things that you're going to see over. Like a lot of this movie, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
that's on screen. Like I can't believe like like shit like that.
James Cameron and Nolan are the two guys that are really fucking. Villeneuve is another one.
I think he does the same kind of similar
that's
thing.
Up there now too.
That's a good point.
But that are really like trying to make cinematic films.
Is it even a debate at this point that Nolan right now of this generation is the guy?
I don't know. I think his movies are hit and miss.
But like, is there anyone else that's doing what he's doing? And I should add to that. He's making very, very like technically difficult movies that are mostly well acclaimed, but also make money.
Just because you do it the hard way doesn't mean people are going to enjoy it.
But people are enjoying it.
Yeah, not all the time. Look at Tenet.
That's true.
Like that was a huge like experimental thing, but then no one really was really into it.
I think this one, this the closest he gets to making an artsy movie and a commercially successful movie. Like I feel like he's always chasing. Can it be art and commerce?
He's doing both. Yeah,
this one does both.
Yeah, I think he's the only. I do think he's the only guy that's doing.
Yeah,
that's making what you said, art and commerce.
Oscars, Anthony, I've seen, maybe 10, 12 fucking nominations.
So Oppenheimer got 13.
Okay, I think this is going to get close.
Sinners got 16.
This is going to get like 10 to 13, 10 to 12.
It's probably going to live. I mean, it's where it's going to have trouble. So it's going to get nominated for every technical category that it can get nominated for.
Yep.
It'll probably get a best director nomination. It'll probably get a best picture.
Yep.
I think Anne Hathaway is as close to a lock for best supporting actress. Where the other ones are is there another acting not? Like, is Matt Damon going to get?
I think Samantha Morton gets an supporting.
She's only in one.
She's
scene,
not in a fine. On that long.
Well, John Leguizamo maybe.
Does Damon get one?
Damon probably gets one, but I would say it's more based on the cachet of the movie.
Right.
He's not going to win, but yeah, it's going to get. I mean, it's going to do really well.
Yes, it's going to have at least 10 minimum.
Oh, more.
Yeah,
it'll probably be like 12 or 13. Yeah. Well, probably like 11, 12.
So Ruggs already answered this question. Frank Grillo in every role.
I would love to see Frank Grillo. So Frank Grillo probably could have pulled off the Bernthal, right?
That's what I thought.
Or Agamemnon.
I was thinking Agamemnon. Yeah.
Grillo as Agamemnon would be great.
Frank Grillo could have done the blind guy too. I feel like you look at Frank Grillo's eyes sometimes, and he's like, "Does he have glaucoma?"
Frank Grillo could have been one of the second in command. He could have been
He could have been Odysseus.
You know when you look at a dog's eyes and you're like, you can tell it's blind. Sometimes I think Frank Grillo's got that.
Yeah, it's like
he's getting up there.
He got a cataract. What's going on there, Frank?
He could have played any one of these. He could have played Antinous.
Yeah, he could have played anybody.
Which one is Antinous?
Pattinson.
Oh, Pattinson. Okay.
What if Grillo was the Cyclops?
Well, I got a question for Rick.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty good. The Antinous thing, that storyline with Antinous and Sin, I guess that's not a real thing, right?
No, Antinous is from the text.
No, but then Ruggs said Sinon didn't even exist in the text.
Sinon isn't.
Oh, the fact that they switched places.
Yeah, switched places.
No, that's like they added that shit.
Okay,
yeah, that's not in there.
It got a little confusing that when they kept going back and forth. I was like, wait, what the fuck happened?
I did think it was fucking badass though when he plays the old guy and he's like groveling for food and he just drops in that little pin into Antinous' thing. Yours. Like, this is yours.
Yo, they were kicking the dog. I was getting so mad. I was like, stop fucking kicking that old dog. It doesn't deserve it.
They were going to kill it right there.
I know.
That dog is 20 years old.
Yes, the dog lived 20 years just to see his master return. It's an amazing part of the thing.
I think I didn't get this in the comic or in that comic in the movie.
Yeah,
but I read it after that. Apparently, Odysseus had trained this dog to be a hunting dog, but then as dog was ready to start hunting, he left.
Yeah,
and then that dog just still remembered him. Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah, the dog has a pup, and then he had to leave.
Oh, also, Leguizamo tossing puppies off the edge of the cliff. I was like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? He said there was a sheet there, and he was throwing puppies, and they were landing in his fucking sheet to catch them.
I forgot about that.
He's just tossing the puppies. And so he picks the runt and makes him a hunting dog. Everybody makes fun of the dog. But those little details just make the story. Like, what a fucking amazing.
Yeah, there's things that he did that are kind of work for this particular film that are okay. So I think that some of those choices are okay.
So when you were watching the film, actually curious when we can get in the ratings, were you able to get immersed in the story, or is it because you're so close to having read what it really should be like? Were you like, this takes me out of it?
I was able to enjoy the movie, but but after it was over, I was like, yeah, like there's a lot missing. I'm like, and not only that, but like, yeah, is all of this like technical bullshit worth it in the end?
Everyone's like, yes.
I'm like, is it really? Because then I immediately went and rewatched Troy.
I heard that one,
and I was like,
I did the same.
And this wasn't done in any of the ways. He cheated, used CG all over the place, and I was like, I had just as much of a good time watching that. So
right, we'll talk about Troy in a second, but
so it's like, is it really worth it? And I don't know. So
I think for his ambition, his take, the little touches he puts on it is almost the definitive.
I'll say one thing.
It's going to be the definitive version of the story now.
When you have CG that is, or you have effects that are seamless, it does help a lot with the immersion.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to cut with the same sword the other way. When you adapt something and you leave out things, or you do things like leave accents in, or don't try and or do things that are like have armor that doesn't belong there. That also breaks the immersion. So like you're adding immersion and you're breaking it at the same time. And so it's like, if you're going to do it, then really do, like, you're going to have like Greek instruments.
That's the most accurate thing of the movie is the fucking score.
Okay. Then you're going to have like plated armor in there. That's like on fucking whatever. Maybe that they're from another world or something. Okay. I understand. I gave the olive branch many times to like things. I'm like, okay, whatever. But that also broke the immersion. So like, why work so hard to get immersion? And if you're going to break it, but most people, as I said, most people don't know the material, don't care. And so it's for those people to like really be immersed. Like, I think that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck.
Look, this got me, I felt immersed, and it got me a little obsessed with this story and watching other adaptations.
That's good. I think that's a good thing.
No, I will give him credit in that. Well, I've given him a lot of credit. I agree with Imran. I actually went back. I was like, okay, what is the Odyssey? Like, what the fuck? And then I was like, was the Trojan War real? Like, I went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, me too. I was like, did any of this happen? And
apparently the Trojan War, some of that's real.
Yes, it's mixing real events with mythology.
Well, look, it's a game of telephone.
But it's fiction, ultimately.
But it's a game of telephone. Their gods were opportunities to tell stories, just like any religion, like the Quran, the Bible. They're all just stories that have been collected, right?
Yeah.
And this Homer is, even though it's not the Bible, because they had, by the time Homer was around and stuff like that, there was different religions and things like that, and it wasn't really a Bible, but you could call it almost like a biblical story for the Greeks, if you can call it that, because no one knows if there was a fucking flood and Noah fucking did this shit.
Right. Nobody knows what anybody looks like.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's the stories of those people, and he and Homer collected them.
So when
Homer just made them up himself.
When Homer wrote this, the story of Gilgamesh had been around for like 1,000 years. And I'm sure he was inspired by some of that also.
Perhaps if he got wind of it and that was traded or carried up. I'm sure that.
Real quick, just a question: Iliad and Odyssey are both Homer.
Yeah,
and they are intertwined stories.
Yeah. So here's the thing: the Trojan War doesn't even happen in the Odyssey.
No, it's in the Iliad, right?
Iliad. So he is pulling from Iliad, the Odyssey, and Virgil's Aeneid, which is another thing.
That's what he wrote that too, that thing.
So there's a lot of conjecture depending on who you ask, but some people say that the early Romans were the Trojans that escaped. From Troy.
Whoa.
And so the Aeneid is like a way to reconcile that, kind of like how the Romans took the Greek gods and made them their own. And so it's Italy and Greece are very tied together. Yeah. And so the Aeneid is kind of like a Roman retelling of the story, and just kind of writing it in to kind of tie Rome to Greece.
But aren't the Greeks kind of the bad guys for what they did to Troy?
Absolutely.
Because that was brutal.
So was Troy, was that a Greek state like Sparta?
It was its own.
It's in Turkey.
Oh, I didn't know
they were their own country. They weren't Greeks. They were Trojans.
Yeah. It's in somewhere in Turkey or.
Yeah. The real place maybe.
Because there was Rome or Greece was like cities. It was like Sparta, Ithaca, a bunch of other spots.
Yeah, they were not unified until at some point. But in these tales, they say that there's these kings like Agamemnon that unified them or all that stuff. At a certain point, Greek became unified under Alexander the Great.
The name Ulysses, I believe, is the Roman version of
Odysseus.
Yes, that's also correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I went down a rabbit hole.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
It really is. Because I'm like, this is the original fucking action fucking movie.
It's the original comic books.
It's the original superhero movie.
The original Pantheon.
Yes.
That's why I'm fascinated, because I read comic books and I was like, oh, they have a pantheon. Oh, that's a pantheon. And the Romans have a pantheon.
Yep,
like,
it all comes from the
Greeks. They all kind of match. Like, I was talking to some guy, and they were talking about something that Frank Miller said about Batman being Dionysus.
Oh,
and Superman being like Apollo.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so like if Frank Miller thinks in those terms that like, like that the Pantheon is like kind of a extension of the Greek gods, like, you know, Hermes is the Flash. You know, you know,
it's the original fucking Justice League.
Yeah, the DC characters, especially the Justice League, are all like godlike characters.
Yeah.
So like these things, these ancient stories, they resonate.
But do you not think he is continuing this oral tradition of telling the story, though? Nobody's made a really crazy version of the Odyssey.
I do, but like, look, I love that the Lord of the Rings exists because it is a very faithful. It's not 100% faithful, but it's about, I would say, 89 to 90% faithful.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives you like, it gives you a lot of the story. And I feel like when you have an opportunity to do it like Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings. Just really get, like, even people who love Lord of the Rings, they generally like that movie. They don't have a lot to criticize. So I feel like that's the mission when you make a movie. I think that's different. I feel like this poem, because it's so old and it was oral storytelling, it should be interpreted differently whenever you make it. You should add, it is there to add yourself into it when you are adapting. I don't know. I just think that's a cope. I really do. I really think that. I mean, if something is 3,000 years old, you can fucking do whatever you want. Everybody's reading Homer. Yeah. They all know what the story is. So then why you're deviating from it? Because that's his version of the story. You're doing your version of the story. But that's all we know is that version.
Hey, Rug Boy is consistent, and that's why I respect that.
Yes.
He's never deviated from, if the text is like this, you should pull it like this.
It's on brand. All right, let's rate it and rank it. Here are the 13 Christopher Nolan movies that he has made.
Well, I haven't seen them all, so you guys
starting in 1998, you got the following: Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, Oppenheimer, and The Odyssey. Give me a score, and where does it land among these? Or is it top 3, top 5, whatever you want? Anthony, go first.
I mean, it's one of my favorite Nolan films. I haven't seen all those movies. What I'll say about Nolan is, I mean, it's probably one of the more influential directors we've had in our generation. I mean, he does The Dark Knight, makes superhero movies a little more serious, does a space movie, does biopic, does a sword and sandals film. I mean, he's doing all sorts of shit. Now he has his own spin on it of everything, but I think it's clear, like, as far as if you want everything, if you want box office appeal, original stories, a guy that can do a bunch of different types of genre movies. Right now, Nolan's the only guy that's doing that.
Used to be Spielberg. He's the new Spielberg.
Oh, Spielberg. I mean, we talked about Disclosure Date. Spielberg is old.
Well, what you just said applies to Spielberg also. He's made every kind of movie, but just different generation.
Yeah, I think the closest guy is maybe Villeneuve. I think Coogler could get there, but you know, right now, Nolan's the only guy right now that's doing shit like this.
Yeah.
This movie's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah. If Oppenheimer made $900 million, this should make $1 billion.
Yeah.
What? Give me a number. What'd you say?
Oh, rating?
Yeah.
9 out of 10.
Okay.
I was playing with 10 out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
But there's just there are some things.
Yeah.
There's some things that we've talked about that are a little draw it back.
Yeah. It's almost a perfect. Almost. Rugs.
In the ranking about I think it's maybe his 4th best movie, maybe.
Okay, so it's in the top 5. Not bad. Yeah. What are the others above that?
Can I guess one of them?
Go ahead.
The Prestige.
Yeah.
You
okay. Can I guess one?
I love The Prestige. I love Batman Begins, and I love The Dark Knight. So
those are your 4, huh?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I like Dunkirk. I mean, I don't like Dunkirk. I mean, Dunkirk is all right. I like Interstellar a lot too, and you know, Inception's good too.
Memento.
Memento is.
I love Memento.
Memento's great. So, like, you know, is it the top 5 even? I don't. It's in the mix. It's in the mix. I would say.
Okay.
It's among his better if it works.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
I recommend it. It's definitely a theater experience. You should go see it. I do feel like the reason I knock some points off is just because I feel like, you know, we got shortchanged a little, you know, in what we could have seen. And yeah, that's basically it. And the sound issues were bothering me. And overall, I just think we don't really get to see Odysseus as I recognize him. So I feel like those things kind of took away from it, but it's still got a badass ending, and it's a crowd pleaser. So I don't think you can go and watch this movie and like hate it. It's not a hateable movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I really like this fucking movie. It's epic. It may be one of my favorite Nolan movies right now. In the top 3, definitely up there with Memento. Which that fucking broke my brain when I saw that. I'd never seen anybody do anything like that. Play with time. And then maybe I will put Dark Knight, but Odyssey. I mean, I would say this to me is a masterpiece. Would you say it's a masterpiece? Who agrees?
No.
Okay.
I feel like technically it could be a masterpiece.
I think it's up there. I think with time,
yeah,
it's tough to say masterpiece now because I think time also helps in terms of determining that. But I do think it has a chance. I'm very curious on that same note if this is going to be remembered as like his magnum opus.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people said that was Oppenheimer.
Right. It depends what the Oscars do and what the money looks like, but yeah.
I have a feeling that years down, this movie does end up being kind of timeless, despite the choices of the American accent and this hot cast. It has a feeling of being. I will watch it. I'd rather watch this than Oppenheimer. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I was also playing with a 10. It is almost the perfect movie. It's just a little bit the sound mix and the action editing, but everything else is. And I would recommend seeing it in IMAX because just like we discussed, if you look at the comparison, you are easily missing 40% of the fucking screen. It is not fair that he made this way, and there's not that many IMAX screens, and they're all sold out. There's a whole thing going on. IMAX is looking for a buyer. People are like, why don't you make more IMAX studios? And they're like,
is it really worth it?
It's not. That's the thing. They're like, we haven't made a new projector.
Just watching a square print of a film. It's like you don't need a special camera to shoot.
The product is not there. They haven't made a new projector in like 50 years. It would cost way too much to make more IMAX theaters, and you'd be doing it for maybe 2 guys that will shoot the whole thing on IMAX, right? People love it. It's sold out.
I like the long look of the film. That's kind of
product is not there. I love this aspect ratio in IMAX though. It's fucking stunning when you see a boat in the middle of the screen and just blue ocean. Fucking gorgeous, just beautiful. So I think it's a low key masterpiece.
Low key. I mean, low key would mean
okay. It's a masterpiece. I'm gonna say it's a masterpiece. I'm gonna say it is a masterpiece.
Imran, just go for it.
I'm gonna do it. Look, if I said Sinners is a masterpiece,
any of the 3 of us is going to say it's a masterpiece. Who's it going to be?
Jesus, I was utterly impressed and kind of blown away. So
I had a great time with it as well.
Yeah. I want to see.
My enthusiasm is more closer to Imran's. Obviously, nothing can be like Imran's enthusiasm, but yeah,
so fucking good.
At some point, I thought you were on speed. It's while you're talking about this movie.
I may have had too much coffee. I gotta watch my intake.